Cool cats, cool dudes, and Daniel Farker. Welcome to this We All Love Leeds, the show where we discuss our love of Leeds. You're joined with me, Mr. Tom, joined with him, Mr. Ben. This is We All Love Leeds. How are you, sir?
Very well, mate. How are you?
I'm not the worst I've ever been. I'm not the best I've ever been because we're not directly after Leicester versus Leeds, so or promotion. So in National Week, isn't it? Really, I mean.
Good evening, Michael.
Who we got? Michael Brown. He was all right for us, weren't he, old Michael Brown?
Yeah, it's
we
very
got him from Sheffield United, right?
Very British name, Michael Brown.
Very, very, very.
English.
Get quite a lot of those around, exactly. Yeah, as Ben said, good evening. Thank you.
So how have you been then? Good?
Yeah, I'll in all seriousness, got no complaints, really. Just
happy days.
Doing the thing, haven't we? Like, boom, international break. Following on from one of the greatest Premier League games ever. Because to be fair to it, Ben, Chelsea versus Man City, it was quite good, wasn't it?
Oh, for a neutral, yeah. It was in the allotted goal slot time of the late kickoff on a Sunday.
Yeah, because as you know, it's not. I brought it up to the Stoop, rather the sister shows, but it's like I didn't invent it. It's a factual thing that time slot has the most goals in it compared to other time slots on average. But anyway, and then the international break creeping up on you as soon as you want more Premier League football or more football in general. Good evening, Ian. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're well. So how was your week, sir?
Tiring. I've been at work most of it, so doing nights again. I always end up on nights.
You used to have a nighttime face, I suppose, then, Ben.
But I've got next Friday off, so at least I get to watch Leeds. So
that's handy. Hang on. So what's happening on Friday?
I believe we're going to New York.
That's true. We are going to New York, which reminds me, I'm going to have to get photos of New York Stadium for next Sunday. Sorry, spoilers for the excuse me. So
we're going to New York, Rotherham, which for me it's not a God-given. They do all right at home, don't they, against the bigger teams this season? So it's where they've got most of the points.
Yeah, I don't want to cry conspiracy because obviously it's a derby match and it's one of those, you know how like we expect 120% against Manchester United, but Manchester United don't see it as aggressively as we do because of our standards in football. So it feels they are going to bring it.
Yeah.
And we have to swat them away like a... Yes, sir.
I'd like a game where we actually don't go to sleep at half time.
It would be nice, but as I say, like I try to defend Leeds, but obviously I'll try to be delusional about it. I'm happy that we're at least falling asleep after half time in games where we've actually killed the other team.
Yeah.
Falling asleep, like let's be fair, Ben. If you could tell me that for the next 4 months we could be 4-0 up at half time in every game and then phone it in the second half, you'd take it, right?
Yeah.
But obviously football don't work like that.
Well, I don't think Ian can guarantee that. You're basically saying it's a draw. One of them.
He's referencing the fact that Rotherham are legally Rotherham United.
Yeah, but
it's one of those.
If they beat us, Leeds United, you lose. If we beat them, Rotherham lose. So you're saying it's going to be a draw, Ian? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, Ian. Yeah. A draw will feel like a loss, really, without knowing the context of the game.
Do you know when you get?
But don't get me.
If we're 3-0 down with Ian, it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. We all know what he's like. But if we're 3-0 down and then it's 3-3, then yeah, I'll be ecstatic with the point. But generally speaking, a point ain't gonna be enough, is it?
No.
If we get a point, Ipswich should be thrilled, and Leicester.
Look, we're hot on the heels now, so we need to push on.
Creeping up on them.
We need a record finish of unbeaten. They got the record start. Let's have the record finish.
Yeah. To be fair, though, it's probably our best start in years. As silly as this sounds, considering we're third. I mean, we've got to be up there with that 1920 season in terms of like point total. I don't know exactly, but it's got to be roughly the same, at least. But some things I did find over the course of the week, just put it out there. David Cameron, going back to number 10, smacks of a relegation threatened club on the phone to Sam Allardyce, Conservative Party. Also, Cameron back in the government, Man United playing Maguire and Evans at centre-back. Have we gone into a time machine collectively and ended up in 2011? Or 2017? Just disgusting. I know I didn't play for Manchester United in 2011, but it feels like it. International break with Malta coming to England. Michael Misford, who was a Coventry City legend, he did an interview, and the interviewer at 1 minute 20 seconds said, "A lot of fans would have watched your goals on YouTube," which is an internet site over here. I mean, and as they quite rightly say, he's from Malta, not Mars. They actually had to explain to him what YouTube was. Like he didn't know. But anyway, do you want a list of things that didn't exist 20 years ago? Just of interest. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Uber, Spotify, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, Man City fans. So anyway, it's not really true. They're a well-supported club, just less so since they became good. Everton's new stadium's shaping up nicely. Who has more chance of getting a title back? Liverpool, Harry. Probably Harry, to be fair. But we haven't left out Spurs this week. Don't leave me any week. Get yourself some Deludamol. Take one a day for Tottenham. Think it's their year. Don't take it before. Take it before November. Before it all goes. They didn't have the best week, did they? But Big Ange thrilled because international break, he can't drop any more points. Just saying. An optimist, the cup is half full. Pessimist, the cup is half empty. But the Spurs plan will ask, what is a cup? So anyway, well, I don't know if Rotherham have new manager in place yet. Since sacking Matt Taylor just before the national break. This is actually the thing that concerns me is the new manager bounce, and they've got the 2 weeks to affect it. Don't get me wrong, shouldn't matter. We really should have too much for them, but it's still in the back of your mind, isn't it? That their players are now playing for places. But anyway, and Ian can guarantee not. He cannot guarantee a draw. Okay. Oh, this is a good story. While the missus was out last night, I started watching Spurs. Then she suddenly turned up out of the blue, and I quickly put some porn on the TV and pulled my trousers down to avoid any embarrassment. So, imagine it. This was a ball boy in 1995 when Everton last won trophy. So, yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to Everton. Don't worry, promise that. Sir Jim Ratcliffe appoints contractors for Old Trafford renovation work. Love pulling out the old Charles independent traders. And did you know Harvey Elliott passed his driving test this week, Ben?
No.
He did. Next week he'll be learning to read and write though. So yeah. Just Jurgen Klopp, one Premier League, one Champions League, one FA Cup, and they compare him to Sir Alex, Wenger, and Mourinho. They do as well. It's amazing. This time last season, QPR were one top with 30 points. Burnley were third on 27. Sheffield United fifth on 25. The latter two teams achieving promotion to Premier League. Exactly, he's right. It's like we're barely into this marathon. It's fanning out a bit, but at the same time, there's lots of points on offer. And the key thing, as we'll notice when we look at the table, at least 6 of the top 8 have got to come to Elland Road. The current top 8 have got to come to Elland Road.
They've got to play each other twice.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think Leicester have played Ipswich yet.
No.
There's lots of opportunity for us to get points, for people to lose points, and we can be fine. I'm not going to get arrogant about it, but it's not as precarious as it might look in April.
Thing is, we need to look after our own.
Yeah.
We need to drop minimal.
Yeah.
Stupid games like Stoke and Birmingham can't happen. So.
It's almost like, obviously you can't odds this and account for it, but the Birmingham game feels very much like if that had happened 4 weeks later, it would have had a very different outcome. It felt like because they won, but they were not good. It was a terrible game of football. It was so bad we didn't even do the show.
They were both awful games of football.
That's not to say we don't cover the show when we lose. It was so bad, we was like, we ain't doing it.
I dare say, other than when they played us, Leicester have had awful games, but they seem to win them.
Yeah, they've won a lot of games, like, say, 2-1. They go behind, they concede first in a few games, I've noticed.
Early on when Coventry, was it their first game, Coventry?
Yeah.
They should have lost that. But
yeah, it was only when they actually got the equaliser that then their quality showed. But generally, it weren't. But then by the same token, we should have murdered Cardiff, and we didn't.
Yeah.
But it's just the Championship, unfortunately. I was bored, so I drew some footballers. Have a guess who that is. Got to give it to him. I knew exactly who it was straight away.
Harry Kane.
It is, I believe, yeah. I don't know why they've drew a penis for a nose, though. Anyway. Just saying. But how do you talk without a brain? Oh, easy. I'm a Liverpool fan. Anyway. Spurs trophy cabinets for sale. Sorry, just quick. Do you know Richarlison wasn't very good in school? It's true. Got a direct quote from the man himself. Football was my only hope in life. I wasn't too good at school. To give you an idea, I managed to fail art in a class where my uncle was the teacher. Now, I've never heard of this team. They're called Keesham Town. But this is, in 2019, what was posted on their Twitter. First minute, kickoff. Sorry about no team news. Been chatting up the tea lady. Possibly moving in with her. 0-0. I should follow that up, really, during the week just to see how it went for him. I mean, he could have a kid by now. Anyway,
at that rate, yeah.
Yeah. At this rate, he'll have 10. He'll have enough for the Keesham under 4 side, probably. What's the best nickname you've ever heard? A mate called his wife San Marino because she kicked off every 10 minutes.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Good LOBX, how are you, sir? But on to the real big story of the weekend, if we're being honest. And guess who's been breaking FFP rules? Nervous sweating. That's right, Everton. So let's go through the slew. I know you sent me some of these. Let's go through the slew of them. Make sure you wrap up warm today. It's -10 in parts of Merseyside. Weather report says it's mostly miserable in Everton because -10. Points deducted, -10 or 10. The Everton winter jacket is now available. It protects you down to -10 degrees. International break, only 10 points dropped. Premier League deciding who to punish for dodgy financials. Just this from Domino's Pizza's Twitter. Just had Everton come in and collect Man City's order. But breaking news. Man City have been awarded the 10 points taken from Everton. Yeah. Yeah, probably in autumn. Why not? Why not? It's getting colder here, and especially up north. You should know better. Did you see what I believe it was the Daily Mirror gave Pickford out of 10 for England on Saturday?
Minus 10.
They said they gave him a 6, to be fair, but they wrote he must have got cold at times with so little to do. It probably felt like minus 10. Very good. Very good. They should have graded him minus 10, really. But being the international break, I noticed there was a World Cup group for Japan, and Syria, North Korea, Myanmar. Just a barrel of laughs at.
It'd be like, what was the game? It's like cannon fodder, but football. And used to kick the grenade about.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it for my find this week. But one that Mr. Ben did send me, but Ipswich will lose 2 or 3 players to the Asian Cup playing for Australia, and possibly another club captain playing for Egypt at AFCON as well, with the Leicester plans going to AFCON. That's right. That's very good. And we've done well to get most of our team from Wales. So, Gruev played today in in Bulgaria's 2-2 draw. Just saying.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think of him. He's one of them, isn't he?
He's not had good. He's not had great showings, has he?
No.
Thus far, if we're being honest. But you need to give him a chance.
Was he recommended by Victor Orta? Was he?
Has to have been. But this is one Mr. Ben did send me. In fairness to him, counting down Christmas. Nope. Next Leeds game. Pretty much what we do, isn't it? When we play next. To be honest, I do that in the 89th minute of the game. I'm like, right, when are we up next? Don't even know what score is going to finish at that point. I'm like, let's have a life of a Leeds fan. But no, that is a fair point, Michael Brown, about AFCON. But in fairness to Gruev, he's not had much opportunity, because the 2 lads keep. Archie Gray's getting kept out of midfield by Ampadu and Kamara. Is it Kamara or Camera?
Camera.
Okay.
I don't know. He's Finnish.
Yeah, Finnish by way of North London. He talks like me. It's amazing.
He looks Finnish.
He does. Just straight out of the igloo, tell you. But
that's it.
But no, in fact, but his performance against Leicester. I know we've played other teams since, but it's filth. It's absolute filth. So I think we should look at the fixtures for next week before I have another. But I do have a treat for you, Ben. So we're playing. Obviously, we got our 6 points. Actual got it right, obviously. Whereas we obviously, to be fair, we were both guilty of playing conservative against Leicester with our chances, which I still thought at the time a draw at Leicester would have been a good result. End up a cracking result. I fully expect to comfortably beat Rotherham and Swansea. I think Swansea would be a lot tighter.
Yeah, I think it'd be the other way around.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
I just feel, look, it's going to be a tight game. They're going to raise the game for us being Yorkshire Derby. They seem to be a bit more solid at home. I just think we're just going to take Swansea apart, and Piro's going to get hat-trick.
That's fair. I'm not sold on Pirou as like the clinical strike machine that with I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not costing us at the moment. So like, look, I'm willing to.
In this league, I'd take 1 out of 4 shots, which is pretty much what he's averaging. So
that's fair. It feels like but what did he go, 5 games without a goal? Something like that, 4 or 5. I mean, we did well in them, to be fair, but
we thought we were buying a number 9. We're not. We're buying it. We bought a number 10. So he'll get the goals inevitably, but I think as a 9, he'd have scored a lot more.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's bad. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. It just feels like the lads behind him are doing a lot of heavy lifting, which obviously you hope for still. Like, ultimately, as Mr. Farker said, I don't care who gets the goals, as long as someone gets the goals. As a team, sorry, that was rude of me. Hello, Jimmy. Welcome. Thank you for your time. Peter Scunner said, as a team ever won the championship to climb promotion? I don't believe they have, but I would be lying if I said I've not considered the fall, because winning football matches feels a lot nicer than getting 200 million a year and still only winning once every 2 months.
I think if you can be refused promotion if your ground ain't ready and stuff, can't you? So
that's happened back
lower
when
down
they used to do like the election to, like, the league teams would vote on if the team that won the conference would come up. I could be slightly wrong on that, but I know there were years in like the mid-90s where like Kidderminster was winning it, but then not getting promoted because their ground weren't up to snuff and things like that. But anyway, so next week we obviously kick off the weekend, or what I like to call, when Leeds play Friday, the main event is up first. And then everything, it's like having your main course and then you're having your appetizers after. But that's Leeds United, brother. It's Leeds United. Anything stand out to you there? Because I can kind of guess what we're all going to focus on. But
the one that stands out is the one in bold.
Yeah. In fairness to director John, it's actually bold because if you type EFL Championship into Google, it doesn't actually recognise that as a fixture.
It did the same last week with the Leicester game. It wasn't there.
Exactly. So, to be fair, it's not an oversight from John. He's actually gone above and beyond for us, to be fair to him, as he always does.
Well, he hasn't put the time in.
It's 5:30 though. To be John, slap yourself on the wrist, mate. But it's the 5:30 game.
I pay for the best. I want the best.
How much Monopoly money do you pay him, Ben?
He's got Mayfair. What can I say?
Mayfair?
Yeah.
Unreal.
I'm dangling Park Lane in front of him. Evening, Mark.
Mayfair. Yeah. If you want Park Lane, you've got to add that 5:30 to the document. But anyway. Michael Brown has said, I hope Leeds are amongst other clubs set to sue Everton. There's 4 clubs, apparently, that are going to be on, because Southampton are joining us as well.
Come aboard.
Yeah. Especially when Everton have targeted Leeds to raid the club for players like Harrison, causing Gnonto unrest when they couldn't afford him. Exactly. I find it galling that they did this to us and then took our players.
Listening to Simon Jordan about the club suing Everton, and he reckons that they've got no chance. But I don't think 4 sets of lawyers would chase something if there's nothing there. And I think 4 sets of lawyers will know more legal ground than Simon Jordan does.
But it's hard to say, because saying that lawyers will take a case if they know they can just rinse you for money.
Yeah.
And like string it out and stuff like that. Like the Man City lawyers are like some of the smartest people on earth. For that very reason, that they're dragging this out and they're probably not going to lose. But like how UEFA tried to rake them over the coals, and they couldn't, sort of thing. Right, anyway. Spawny Mark is in. Hello, Mark. It was a good show on Friday, to be fair to you, Mark. You did a good job. How are you, sir? He's very chipper, what with Wolves, his latest form.
No. He did well.
Every right to be. Yeah. Pete Cushion pointing out Birmingham City versus Sheffield Wednesday looks interesting. It does, because didn't get to discuss it with Ben last week, but what do you make of Wayne Rooney's start at
it's beautiful.
Birmingham? It's great to watch, don't it?
I feel sorry for Birmingham fans a little bit, a tiny little bit, but it's comical.
What I find funny about it is like, and I'm sure it came up last week, but it feels like they've gone. The owner is enamoured with Wayne Rooney, clearly, and thought, if we get Wayne, we can get his mates and his connections. But then the problem is that he's now getting them to try and play. They're basically trying to play like from what I've seen, a Daniel Farker type of football. But he clearly hasn't got the players to do it. It's like you have to get players fit to do Bielsa's murder ball and have to be willing to do it. But you can't just do it with anybody. And it feels like he's literally trying to play Premier League football with anybody. Like, what they were doing previously wasn't pretty, but it was grinding out results.
They were in a playoff position when he took over, so...
Exactly. They were 5th when they sacked the manager. They were 6th when they hired Rooney, because I think there was a day or so between it. And his only positive result for them has come from being 2-0 up in a game they didn't win.
Yeah.
Which also didn't really do us any favours. It would have been much more nice if they'd actually beat Ipswich. But anyway, Marcus said he'll be filing suit against Everton for preventing me to watch Leeds, which is a way better watch than the Toffees.
Definitely.
Wow. Mark, I'm going to add you to my Christmas card list for that. Christmas card list. Not a big list, unsurprisingly.
You should use Levi Solicitors.
Oh, what do Levi Solicitors do? I always forget it.
I think it's copyright. I'm going to say it in a different order. Conveyancing, probate and wills.
Yeah. Will Smiths, they say. Keep up the good work, Rooney. That's why good old Wayne Rooney, or Wade Rooney, must be his non-union cousin. And Hawkwind is here. Hello, Hawkwind. How are you, sir? How are you? He's from one of the Arsenal shows. He's a lovely lad. So obviously we look at this list, and what immediately sticks out to me is obviously Leicester versus Watford, Ipswich at West Brom, the sneaky one, Southampton, because they're right up our arsehole. Pardon my language. Like they had they had a worse September than we did, and just creeping up. Obviously, you can't discount Norwich as much as I'd love to.
Sunderland must be the Sunday game.
Sunderland are playing Plymouth.
They're away at Plymouth, yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing them. It's going to be some good atmosphere. But yeah, so that's the Championship for next week. Something I thought would be interesting to look at. Yeah, it's true. Right up my Gary Glitters. This was their lineup for their matchup against Watford. But I think it's also important to note that it will not be their lineup against Leeds because they lost this match 5-0. So anyone you recognise from that? Because I asked Director John to pull together a roster of Rotherham. But I didn't expect it to be a team that I don't recognise. Again, a symptom of being the same thing with Plymouth last week. A symptom of being in the Premier League for 3 years. you lose touch of who's in the Championship.
Is someone just trying to state the obvious with the goalkeeper there? You can see he's a black man.
Well, you know he played for Leeds, right?
He did. That's
We
the only
loaned
one who
him
stands
under
out.
Bielsa.
Yeah, we did.
It's the only player I recognise. We loaned him and he broke his leg. But he obviously loves Yorkshire because he stayed there. I've all gone accumulator.
Matt Smith up front, is it?
I don't think it's the same Matt Smith because obviously he plays for Salford. He scored against us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Those
Because of course he
names
does. Who doesn't score against us when they've played for us? Kyle Vassell, Wiles, McDonald. Wait, is his name Thick Wee? Okay. Not judging. Not judging. Yeah. Okay. And then Lindsay. Oh, that's I mean, like you can tell that they did not do well last week based on these ratings. I'm guessing out of 10. But anyway. So how many of those players do you think are going to be in defence against us? Is it back six?
I don't have a in foggiest.
I have no, I don't know
I don't know
myself.
what their squad is or any of it. I don't.
No, that was what I was attempting to find out, but it's made it even harder.
I suppose it's ignorant of me, really. That let's beat them.
Sorry, I didn't mean to accidentally press the wrong thing. It was the same for Plymouth last week. Like I felt really ignorant because I had a photo of the manager, the Farker, and him, and his name's Stephen Schumacher. But I didn't know that.
The Scouse chairman.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it for the purpose of this, but before that, I didn't know who their manager was. It was but anyway. So I think we should just have a quick look at the table. I mean, are you surprised that the bottom three of the ones that have, or the bottom four are the ones that have changed their manager this early? Coventry are surprising me because obviously playoff final losers.
They sold the best two players, though, didn't they? Let's be honest.
That's true, they did. But you'd still think they'd reinvest it and to at least like I'm not saying I expect them to challenge for like promotion again, but I wouldn't expect them to be in the bottom five. But we'll see what happens when we play them.
Yeah.
But obviously, we'll get into that more when it's Leeds versus Coventry, I suppose. Win with Pinkish and that. Let me on the bass guitar. Wrong one. It doesn't look as bad as it did a couple of weeks ago, where it was like, can you imagine if we'd have lost to Leicester?
Well, we're all in the 30s now, so
yeah. Are you ready to call that we won't get relegated?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I usually wait till we hit that 40-point mark.
No, we're good.
You know, in the Championship, the safety net is about 50.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'll be very surprised. But I do have a treat for you, Ben. Today is November the 19th. 18 years ago, in 2005, Leeds went to Southampton. Do you remember this contest, Ben?
In what year?
2005. On this day.
I don't.
That's okay. It's okay.
Is that the year we got beat by Watford? Yeah.
Yeah. But we went to St Mary's.
4-3, no?
Yeah. This was the lineups on the day. I don't remember much about Dan Harding I think Paul Butler was the captain, wasn't he? This must have been one of like Gary Kelly's last appearances for us.
Yeah.
Looking at the Southampton team squad, I didn't realise that the man who would be managing us like a year later was playing in this. Old Dennis Wise, a young Theo Walcott, Brett Ormerod, who was one of like a million strikers that played for us for about 10 minutes.
Marian Pajas, good.
Yeah, exactly. So naturally, Leeds being Leeds, Marian Pajas scores in the lovely kit.
Oh, that kit was awesome.
Yeah.
The neck ripped right off.
Yeah.
Detached itself.
It was such a you're now in the Championship kit.
Yeah, Diodora, here you go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Then Nigel Quashie scored again. Then Nigel Quashie then scored a penalty with 3-0 down at half time. Randomly, Peter Drury's in the commentator for the feed of it that I watched. So then Paul Butler scores a header, as seen in he's right in the centre in the 71st minute. Paul, apologies for the poor quality of this, but this was actually the best feed you could get, being in the Championship and it being 18 years old. Robbie Blake then sweeps in for 3-2, to which then Peter Drury starts going, can they? David Healy scores a penalty to make it 3-3 in the 84th minute. He was a good player for us, wasn't he, old David? Then 2 minutes later, Liam Miller, formerly of Manchester United, sweeps in another goal for us. And yeah, we scored 4 goals in 15 minutes. And Harry Redknapp, furious. He said there were only 4 shots in the game. Well, it's your job to fucking stop them, Harry. Pardon my language. Yeah. I just thought people might enjoy a bit of a stroll down memory lane. Yeah, bit of that. Because obviously there's no game this week. But our man Ben, bless him, has a double treat for you this week. Double treat. It's time for Mr. Ben's Wanker of the Week. What one do you want to go for first, Mr. Ben?
I'll let you decide. You're the button man.
Okay. I'll play the video, and you can describe why this gentleman is bestowing the award this week.
So that was last week's Wanker of the Week, and it went to the physio for reasons that are obvious.
I think even Stevie Wonder could see why you've gave him that award this week, or last week rather. But yeah. But for this week, and I don't know why it shows up like this, but all Leeds fans I think can agree. Sorry, Ben, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I just got sent this, so I just thought he's a wanker. So he's Wanker of the Week. For people that can't see or have small TVs, it says, here he is, TalkSport's voice of football reason, at Gabby11. Well, yeah, you don't want to follow the dick on Twitter unless you want to abuse him like me. But anyway, thick as a submarine door. Irrelevant career, not a medal to be seen. Loves to be heard, though, I assume to make up for what his career failed to achieve. In a world of embarrassing pundits, right at the top. Yeah, airhead, brain dead, moron, wanker.
He's not a fan of us, is he? We're not a fan of him, so it's all mutual.
Yeah.
One positive I will give him and I know this sounds dirty, is he went in on Richard Keys went in on him, and he responded to Richard Keys, and he ruined Richard Keys. And I was angry at Richard Keys because it was like, how can you lose a debate to a Bonglahor? To be fair, Richard Keys isn't in a position to win a debate with anyone if you know anything about Richard Keys. But,
and no man should be called Gabby. Even in this day and age.
And they're like, oh, he's our top scorer. It's like, well, you need more people to score goals in, don't
you?
Yeah. But
yeah. They had another irrelevant career guy in Lee Hendry.
Oh, they did. Anyone who ends up on Sky on Soccer Saturday.
God, don't you think he's like Sue Smith's twin?
Yes, that's that. Yeah, it's funny you say that because my mum, they had Soccer Saturday on, and she turned around to me and went, "He looks like Sue Smith." I was just like, yeah. Does he look like her, or does she look like him?
I think she's older, so he looks like her.
Interesting. Something I did find in the vein of videos. Sorry, that was Mr. Ben's Wanker of the Weeks. So I did find. This has to be seen.
Ian?
There shouldn't be copyright.
Is that a serious question from Ian there?
Are you joking?
You're a Leeds fan?
Sue Smith used to play for Leeds, didn't she?
Yeah, she was when women's football was even shitter than it is, and Leeds United had a decent women's team that was getting to FA Cup finals and stuff. She was our.
She was in the mix, wasn't she?
She
along
was
with Lucy Ward.
Yeah.
Basically, once you see her, you'll never forget her because
she's also the woman who does Sky Sports Soccer Saturday.
Yeah. Funky hair, just to say.
Definite lesbian, in my opinion.
It wouldn't surprise me. I will say that. To be fair, I don't follow women's football at all.
But
she presents the men's football.
I knew she was before she presented that. I remember in the days of Doncaster Bells, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she obviously played with Lucy Ward, who you may or may not remember. She also commentates on BT Sport now. Oh, it's not BT, is it? TNT or whatever it is. She did commentate on BT Sport. She was the lady that came on it during Lucas's testimonial, I believe. And I believe she scored. Of course she did. And but she's actually more known for being fired because she was obviously she's with Neil Redfern in real life, for a long time. And basically, because Cellino didn't obviously wanted to sack Redfern, he sacked her as well. And she sued him and won because, of course, she won. Because why would, you know what I mean? He had no real standing to sack her. But yeah. So I'm not joking. Fair enough. But I did find this on the Twitter, and so I'll just let it speak for itself.
Kid's got no right foot.
He's like, if I can't do it with the left, I ain't doing it. But no, in all seriousness, obviously it's a fantastic goal. I just thought, I wonder if that'd get us sued. But anyway. I mean, is the boy going to sue us? I'm not. That sounds like I'm challenging him. I've got nothing to sue me for. I spent it all on my microphone. But anyway, not true.
He'd probably take your almost all though. He's a kid.
Oh my God! Do not touch my. You don't come for my almost stole, you little shit. Sorry. I'm just protective of my almost stole. Sorry, what I say, doll, they're figurines, damn it. Anyway. So
fucking doll.
Right, so we've gone through all the stuff, but obviously our next show is it'll be next Sunday.
Yeah, back at the normal time. I appreciate you all turning up early, as I'm at work very, very soon, in like 10 minutes apparently.
No problem though. We can cut it short slightly earlier than we usually would to accommodate your work job. So no problem. But before we do go, I think we do the question of the week. The Mr. Tom question of the week. Thank you, sir. In 2017, Modu Barrow played 5 matches for Leeds United on loan from Swansea City. Where is he from?
His mother's womb.
What nationality was the mother in when? What country was the mother in when he came out of her womb? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
My mum and dad have been to this country. Hence, that's why I corrected it in the chat.
Oh yeah, no, I knew it was that. It was just because on Wikipedia, the nationality, it doesn't say that. So I thought, oh no, if I say that, I'll get myself cancelled. And I want to get cancelled for something. I want to get cancelled for something worth getting cancelled for. Then, yeah. So Barrow in Furness. I was thinking the same thing. And no, what's Furnisian? Oh, Barrow in Furness. Is that near Leeds then?
No, it's on the west coast, I think.
Okay, fair enough. We'll give him one more. We'll give him one more minute to Cumbria. You're very close in terms of like saying right. It sounds similar to, but I mean you're not close in terms of geography. But yeah,
closer than you are.
Yeah, exactly. Barrow in Furness is up in the northwest, not far from Carlisle. Well, thank you for that, Jimmy.
I always remember it was on an 80s Chewits advert, chewier than Barrow in Furness, and they had this big dinosaur ripped a building and ate it.
Yeah, I remember the Chewits dinosaur. Yeah, I remember that. Cool. Okay. The answer is the Gambia. The Gambia. Today's geography lesson. It is situated basically in Senegal. Yeah. I wonder if he knows Sadio Mane. Yeah, there's no reason he would actually, but anyway. So that is it. We've had some fun, we've had some laughs, we've had some tears. Maybe not the tears, but I was going to ask what are you up to, but you've already told us you're going to
work. But I'll be watching Leeds Friday, and I'll be on the show Sunday.
Yep, where we'll be going through the action in the excruciating detail that you've come to expect from.
Unless we lose, and it'll be just a quick recap.
And there'll be lots of poo emojis. Well, as many poo emojis as needed. But yeah. So I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I want to thank Ben for turning up. And he was on time. He was on time as well. I think you should all know that. Not that it's a thing that you wouldn't be, but you know what I mean. Well, no, because there have been weeks where obviously you were joining midway because you're like, I'm on the motorway and I'm burning legally doing the limit. And
of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest otherwise. And but so was on time for you. Yeah. And so what we'll say is you want to say anything to your audience, Mr. Ben?
thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Have a good week, everybody.
I couldn't say it better myself. Have a good week. Take care. If you need help, don't be afraid to go and get it. Take care. Have fun. I'm just spouting word salad at this point. So I'm just going to say good night.
Good night.
God bless.
God bless. If you believe in him.